You gotta tell me that on the air. Because I gotta ask you something.
I just keep going, bro. Don't even stress.
I don't want you to waste anything.
Yeah, for sure.
This is Jason, this is Alex. I can't hear out this ear, so bear with me.
Oh, man.
I got an ear infection.
Oh, no. I almost got one because I swim every day. We have a pool. I've never had a pool. I had a kiddie pool. But now my wife, she take care of your boy.
He's doing good.
I'm doing good. I got a big ass
He's
swimming
doing
pool.
good.
So I swim every morning with my son. We do like 3 swims. We do one in the morning. It's all on him. He loves to swim. So we do a morning swim. We do like a lunch swim and then afternoon swim. But I started getting a little like ear tendonitis or something from swimming so much. So I got to start getting like earplugs.
How old's your kid? Is he good on mic?
Oh, my mic? Are we on? Are we live, baby?
We shoot everything.
I love it. Man, you know what? This mic is covering my beautiful face, dog.
I know. Don't hide the money.
Come on,
what are
baby.
You doing?
That's how I make the money. Don't hide it.
So you got, how old's your kid again?
2.5. He'll be 3 on the 29th of November. Can you hear me still? Even though I put the mic to the side? Or is that too far?
Just lean in a little bit.
There we go. I'll lean in.
Which can make sure we got this beautiful mug.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you have a clear shot.
Yeah, it's clear.
All right.
Well, I mean, the mic is.
This is a massive mic, bro.
So you got the
this
kid.
mic should be able to get me my voice from like 5-10 feet.
Yeah, you can sit outside.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's good to be here, dog. What's good? Hey, when did we meet, dog? We met like 2015 or 13.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
At when we had the spot in MacArthur Park.
It's a dope spot.
Yeah, and that was and you came when we were sharing with when we shared the spot with Manface.
Yeah.
Remember he was tattooing out of there?
Yeah, the homie. Shout out Manface.
Almost.
This is her spot.
No. She just wants to get in people's laps. Just tell her no. Or tell her to or pick her up. It's up to you. It's your call. You choose your own adventure.
Yeah, man. I had to bring my boy Mike just in case you got crazy on me, dog.
Damn, really? That's security right there?
Yeah, that's security, dog.
But he's not wearing see the thing is I believe him until I hit the shoes. That doesn't look like security shoes.
That's the first thing. I throw the chancla first and then I rush it.
That's hey, that's how dangerous he is. He pulls up in flip flops and people are still like he's not gonna the chancla
like a motherfucking like throwing dagger.
Also, when you're that big, people ain't gonna really trip on whether you're wearing combat boots or not.
That spot was dope. Where are you guys at now?
Well, so yeah, that spot.
I'm gonna interview you.
You're gonna interview me. That spot was.
People want to know a lot of things about Two-Tone.
They want to know. I try to stay mysterious.
I know, me too. Honestly, I was trying to do that for a minute.
Yeah.
I told myself no more interviews. I'm gonna because I realized that I talk so much that I get myself in trouble. You know what I mean?
That's what we want.
And yeah, exactly. But I can't help it. It's just in my nature. Just fucking like be transparent, be honest. But be honest, truth. Powerful truth.
You're on the right show.
You know
the Powerful Truth Angels.
I was like, I'm gonna peel back. Plus, after you do so many interviews, I feel like what else is there to say unless you're promoting like new art, new music, and I haven't. Even though I do have things that I'm working on that I've finished, but I haven't put them out because COVID hit, and I was like, what's the point of releasing an album right now if I can't tour it and whatever. But sorry about that. I'm interviewing you. So how did you come up with the name Powerful Truth Angels?
That was me and Maddie just kicking names back and forth. We were just like texting. Boom, 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 boom. I think we were going back and forth and he's like, Powerful Truth Angels. Like, all right, there it is.
Yeah.
I like just talking shit.
Yeah.
But when we met, we were in MacArthur Park. We were living in Manface's apartment. No, we were working in his apartment.
Yeah.
So it was half his apartment.
But didn't you guys have the downstairs too?
That was later.
Oh, that was later.
But the first time you came, we had the backdrop with the cross, right? Remember?
Sick. Yeah. Wood cross.
The wood cross, that giant ass wood cross, right?
So cool.
And we had and then Manface had his bedroom, and then he had his bedroom, and then he had a tattoo studio, and then the other half of his house was my office. So it was me and Spanto and Carlos, and that was it, right? And
that's a big spot, though.
It's a nice spot, nice windows, but for like we start me and Manface will have the same argument, and the argument would be this: we start yelling at each other about some dumb shit, and then he'd be like, your office is in my house. And I'd be like, your house is in my office. That's how we would go back and forth, having the same stupid ass argument. You know what I mean? But that's where you pulled up.
Yeah.
And I remember when you pulled up and you're like, I'm Cholo Goth.
Yeah,
And
still
I'm
am.
Yeah, it's
Haven't
still
changed.
up. And I'm like, and at the time, that was just peel my cat back because I'd never seen it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let's talk about who you are. Don't even try to turn the tables on me.
All right.
We're gonna talk about you.
Okay.
Because these people, like, you gotta understand, this audience, they don't know, they don't know any of this shit.
Okay.
You gotta talk to them as if they just never seen anything. 'Cause some of them do know, but I think there's a majority of them that come from Maddie's side. They're from Middle America and Canada.
Okay.
They haven't been exposed to a person like yourself.
Okay.
They don't know what to make of you. You got the mesh tank top on.
Yeah, I bought it yesterday just for the show.
That's what's up.
I did. Straight up, right, man?
That's why you're hard.
Yeah, I even went and got my nails done for you.
That's
I don't
right.
get them long anymore. Remember, I used to rock them like
Yes.
super long with
Yeah.
acrylic. Too many people started buying my style.
Yeah.
So then I was like, man, too many people are doing the long nails things.
Yeah.
It's not cool no more. And then I had my son and I started changing diapers and
Oh,
it got
yeah.
a little bit hard with the
Yeah.
nails. So it was there was a lot of signs leading to me not doing the long acrylics anymore.
You can't get doo-doo up in your fingernails.
Yeah, I was
and
like,
shit.
I don't want to hear my little baby, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I
yeah.
did paint them. I wasn't even painting them for a while. I had like, once COVID hit, man, I went straight into like flip-flops and shorts and like, you know, still rocking black, but it was like I was just lounging. You know
Casual
what I mean?
black.
Casual goth.
Casual
you know?
goth, yeah.
And then
Beach goth.
And then I said, well, you know, I'm going to the homies podcast. Let me put on my boots, my black. Let me do something. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that you
remember when
suited
I
up.
pulled up on you recently?
Yeah.
On La Brea?
On La Brea, yeah.
You saw how I was dressed,
Yeah.
dude. I had like the fucking shorts, the
Yeah.
flip flops. I was
I caught you out of character.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's funny. I started, you know, we have shows coming up for my wife. My wife has a couple shows, and
My wife.
So I started, kind of like going back into, I don't know how to say it, just the way I used to dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this is uncomfortable as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe that for decades I was dressing like that.
Yeah.
And it really didn't bother me until I went into the casual me. And now I'm noticing like, I was
yeah.
putting myself through like pain.
Yeah.
Walking in cowboy boots 24/7, tight ass pants 24/7,
Yeah.
long ass acrylic nails 24/7.
Yeah. The worst thing you can ever do is put on a pair of Birkenstocks because then you're fucked for life.
Yeah, man.
As soon as you
I
start
ain't
doing
done
shit
that.
like that, you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
this
you give
feels
up.
too good.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then something dawns and you're like, wait a minute, why shouldn't a person like me be comfortable?
Right.
Why shouldn't I be comfortable?
Oh man, dude, I gotta make up like a casual goth wear, bro.
Yeah.
That's what
you've
it's
been
missing.
ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, people are starting to paint their nails, right? Men.
Yeah, they are. I mean, look, I dropped the ball on a couple things, like straight up, like I put stuff out into the universe,
Yeah.
and normally I'm able to execute things immediately, right? But once I got married and once COVID hit, it was a little bit harder for me to execute things as fast as I used to. But I had already put it in the air that I was gonna do like a nail polish line for men, like
Yeah.
a masculine nail polish line, and then boom, Little Yachty does one, and I was like, man, I'm not even doing it no more.
Nah.
Because it's gonna, you know what I mean? If you weren't the first to do it,
Yeah.
don't even bother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or even it's just like different markets too. Like your market's like
True,
yeah,
different
obviously.
markets.
This
Yeah.
market's like, oh shit, that's the new wave, and then you start like certain people can turn shit on, and all of a sudden everyone's doing it. Right?
True.
Me personally, I have I would like to.
Sorry to interrupt, but you're right, because you know what? There's a lot of brands out there, right? But then there's Born and Raised.
Yeah.
And you guys, the way you guys do it is so different, yet still parallel to an urban street brand. But you guys just took it to that level where it's like, I don't know. It's the talk of the town, man. You know what I mean? It's top shelf. I mean, to this day, like I have some of the early stuff that you guys made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when I rock it, people still like, yo, I love that shirt. I fuck with that brand. And I was like, oh, this is fucking from
Way back.
7 years ago.
That's hard. You still got that
Yeah,
stuff?
I still got all that stuff. Yeah.
That shit's up. It's cool. It's cool to have a brand and turn around and like, because I got shirts now that are my own shirts that I made that are vintage. Like now they've turned gray.
Yeah.
Like, this is getting old. This is a Born and
Yeah.
Raised shirt. It's got it's like a misprint. It's got a rocker on the back. But it's kind of cool to see shit like over 7 years. You got if you watch it enough, you got a vintage shirt now. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, for a long time, Born and Raised, it was kind of like an inside thing. Like, oh shit, where'd you get that? Who do you know?
Right.
Like people, you had to know someone, you know, because we were so small. So
Yeah.
you had to know me or Sponto or somebody. Or like, how'd you get that? Where'd that come from? You know?
Yeah.
Because we kept it very like controlled and we only had a few doors and stuff. But anyways,
How did you and Sponto meet? Shout out the homie Sponto.
yeah, Sponto's
Yeah,
got a
love Sponto.
Sponto's home with a fever right now.
Oh, man.
You know, he's just
I fucking ran into Sponto randomly at the well, this is way back when they were doing the in North Dakota when they had the protest for the pipeline.
Yeah.
I went to that and ran into Spanto there with the crew. It was dope. I was like, come on now. It's so tight.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
But how'd you guys meet?
Well, you know, we both grew up in Venice.
Oh, okay.
And he's younger than me. Like I remember seeing him as when he was a young kid.
Yeah.
And it's like the gap is so big that like I was an adult when he was still a little kid, you know, and like I'd see him run around. I'm like, oh shit, that kid's fucking trouble. Yeah, I'd see him like I know where he's going, and then by the time I kind of merged away and like started doing other stuff, like leaving Venice, doing other things, he was still in it for a long time. And then years later, he tracked me down because I had this other clothing company, and he was just like he tracked me down through some mutual friends. I was like, I need to get at you. I'm like, who's this fool from fucking Venice trying to get a hold of me? I'm like, this can't be good. And but you know, it was all good. Like we sat down, chopped it up, and then we just like hit the ground running, you know. And then also the next thing you know, it's like
born and raised.
You know, it is like 7 years go by and you just blink, right?
It goes by, man. It really does. I mean, I've been doing music for 7 years. Yeah. You know?
Is it really? You've been doing it for 7 years?
7.
So that's when you
technically 5 because I took 2 years off. I got married.
Right.
And then I didn't tour the album that I got signed to BMG. I was supposed to tour this album. And then I was like in love. So I was like, fuck, I'm not touring this album. I'm staying home with my pregnant wife. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for 2 years, and then COVID hit. So yeah, it's been 7 years. 1 year I didn't tour because I was, you know, because of love and my wife's been married. Married. My wife and I got married. She got pregnant. So I didn't want to be on the road. I didn't want to be away. And then COVID hit. So then that was it. So I haven't toured for 2 years. So technically, yes, I've been doing music for 7, but I've only been, you know, touring and performing live for 5.
Right. Damn. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you kind of started around the same time we did.
Yeah.
And you pulled up, and I remember it was it was something I hadn't heard or seen before. And then I know that you're from San Diego.
Yep.
And like you're from a neighborhood in San Diego.
Yeah, I'm from Sherman Grand Hills Park, 27th Street.
That's right. And you're still like but you still were a different, like the thing that's cool about it is that you were not a cookie cutter cholo.
No, right? No, never have been. Always done my own thing, you know what I mean, from the beginning.
How did you have the
But you know what? Like I take a lot of like, I was the only one, but nah, there was other homies that were like me in my neighborhood, you know, that grew up. Some of them grew up listening to metal and skateboarding, and then they transitioned into the neighborhood. And those are kind of the ones that I bonded with the most because they already kind of knew where I was coming from.
Yeah.
They already like knew like, okay, we know what he's listening to and we know what he's about. So those are the, you know, shout out my boy Capone and his brother Big Ernie. Those guys always looked out for me because they kind of like knew where I was coming from. So they always kind of had my back like that, you know.
And then do you think, because most people, because you see people grow up in a neighborhood and then become from a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But you see before, like people in Venice was like, one year they were boogie boarding, and next year they're shooting people, right?
Yeah, no, for real.
You see that transition,
Mm-hmm.
but rarely do you ever see people hold on to the like where they came from.
Right, they might hide it, right?
Yeah, you hide it, and usually they get indoctrinated, and then it's all cookie cutter. Like this is how a cholo looks. Yeah. At least when I was a kid, right?
Yeah. No, I have both. I have friends that grew up in it. Like their parents were from the neighborhood. Yeah, their parents were hardcore gangbangers, mom and dad, and they were born into it, so they were indoctrinated from the gates. You know, I didn't come from. I came from Mexico at the age of 4. So my parents were both immigrants, so they didn't know anything about the American culture. You know, right. So I learned it just from where I grew up.
Right.
And I went to Pacific Beach Elementary, so that was like a white school. So most of my friends were like skaters, surfers, punk rockers, and you know, goth kids. So that's really what I was into. And then my neighborhood, I grew up in a Chicano neighborhood, so I had both worlds, and I loved both of them, you know. But my story is a little bit darker. I got into the neighborhood, and there's interviews that I talk about it, but it was dark, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I found my way through it, and a lot of it had to do kind of like music and self-identity. I think kept me like, what's the word, from losing myself too deep into it, you know. Right. But I had to do the things that everyone else has to do, you know, like pay your dues. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I have the stabbings and to show for it and stuff like. I'm not like, I've been stabbed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's just, you know, that was fun too, though. Actually.
It's fun. Just fun getting poked here and there. Did you go to the store and forget the one thing that you needed at the store and you get home and you're like, what did I do? I fucked up. Now you can get snacks, drinks, and other grocery essentials you need delivered in under an hour with DoorDash. And as always, DoorDash connects you with other restaurants that you love right now, right to your door. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want to eat, and your food will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. Could you have imagined this as a child, that you could just press a button that says cheeseburger and it magically arrives at your house, and you don't even have to talk to anyone, you have to look anyone in the eye, you take your box with your delicious shameful cheeseburger into your house and you eat it in the dark and you binge watch The Sopranos again for maybe the 15th time. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code PTA2021. That covers pizza, ice cream, asparagus, chicken, fried chicken, kielchan, wings, burgers, focaccia, lasagna, pasta, salmon, anything. I mean, name a food. I dare you name a food right now. Name a food.
Dr. Pepper.
Sure, got it. No problem. That's 25% off, $10 value, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code PTA2021. Don't forget, that's code PTA2021 for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply.
Well, I mean, dude, it's so weird. I think this. I was talking to a friend about a point of reference, right? So this generation is growing up with social media, right? With cell phones and whatnot.
Yeah.
I come from a time where there was no cell phones, no social media, right? So I have that point of reference. But I think things are still, in a way, we still seek praising, right? We still seek validation, and a lot of it now it's a lot easier, right? Because of phones, right? In a phone now you can post a cool video, whatever, right? And you get the likes, you get it being shared. There's a thing called viral. But back then, when we didn't have cell phones, it was like getting down or tagging your neighborhood or crossing people out, and then people in the neighborhood would be like, damn, do you hear that such and such did this, or you'd get locked up, and then you'd come out. When you come out, you would come out with a different body, different tattoos, and the homie's out. And it was seeking validation, and you would get some type of praise, for it. So I remember when I got stabbed, it was messed up, but all my homies were like, damn, dude, you fucking got down with those fools and they stabbed you, man, you're fucking hard as fuck. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucking hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, I was in the hospital, I got stabbed in the head. Like, I got stabbed in the forehead.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it wasn't like, what I mean?
No shit.
I had a knife in my head. Yeah, it was like, you can see the scar,
Was it stuck in there in your skull?
No, but they got me,
They tried to.
Yeah, and, but
that's how you go viral back then.
And that's how you went viral.
That's how you went viral.
That's right, Michael?
Michael knows.
Michael knows. Michael knows. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's fucked up. But also when you're young, there's like you have like so much to give. Mm-hmm. And whether it's and you're finding yourself, and I think like. I think the Native Americans have it right in the sense that there's a rite of passage for their young, right? Mm-hmm. As the youth is becoming an adult, they have to go through this ritual, that tests them. And I think because we lost that, we seek it in one way or another. And I think us, because we come from that world of, we have indigenous blood, we have an indigenous background, we look for some type of ritual, and we find it through gangs, and we get put through that fire, right. That tests us, and we go to, we go to jail, and these things are like what turns us into like men, even though we're children,
Yeah.
But I think because we don't have like, we don't have the proper tools, right? Like the indigenous people do, right? What is it called? The fire walk or the sun dance?
Well, you can talk about the sweat lodges.
The sweat lodges.
Sweat lodge, you have to ask permission to enter the womb. Those are rites of passage.
Get the camera on Mike, man. Mike knows a lot about
give
this.
this man a mic.
But I mean,
we got another mic. Mike, you want to sit?
Sit over here, Mike. Join us, Mike. Come on, man. Mike is my best friend, by the way. I'm from San Diego. I moved to Los Angeles. I'm not sure when, and I met Michael at the homies. Had a little spot down there on what's that area? Burbank, Glendale area. The homie. God, what's the homie's name? Fuck. He's from San Diego. It's a homie from San Diego, moved up here, opened up a little store. And Michael has a clothing brand too. It's called Villain Life.
Okay.
You know, and Villain Life was being sold out of the homie spot. And that's when I first met Michael. And then we clicked, and then we kind of went our separate ways, and then we reconnected again. And now, that's my dog, man. You know, we're inseparable and shit. We always
Road
kick
dogs.
it. That's my road dog. And we be posting up, like once a week, catch up and just, cruise around LA.
You brought him here just in case.
I brought him here just in case, because you never know, dog.
Honestly,
my wife was take Michael just in case.
All bullshit aside, do you actually have a little bit of paranoia like that?
No.
Okay, you don't have
Not
that.
at all.
I remember times being paranoid and being like going see some people I hadn't seen in a long time, being like, I'm gonna.
Well, listen, one time I did. And I'm not paranoid, but listen, I normally. Well, I know my environment. I know you. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's the homie, And normally I don't care, because either way, I don't. I feel like whatever you got coming. And I got nothing but good stuff coming, because I don't, in a sense, what am I trying? You reap what you sow. You know what I mean? I've never done anyone dirty. You know, if anyone's trying to get at me, cool. That like in a bad way, let it be. That's on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I've been, like I said, I have a point of reference.
Yeah.
I have a point. Dude, I used to literally have to jump out my back window just to go to school every day, because if I went out through the front, enemies would be driving by trying to get me. Everyone knew where I lived, because my pad, I always was I've always been like stupid that way, where I always would turn my pad into the fucking hangout.
Right. Yeah.
Where all the homies would hang out.
Right.
Like, I shouldn't have done that, because I put my parents in danger, but my house was always like the go spot.
Right.
I remember my homeboy Smiley, young kid. How old was Smiley? I don't know. He couldn't have been more than 14, Couldn't have been older than 14. I remember we were walking out of my house. We walk out of the house, open the door to go outside. Brah! He gets hit. And I was behind. I was like, we walked out. It was Smiley. It was Bubba. It was me. And I can't remember. I don't know if for like Smurf or, but it was like a little group of us. We were coming out, young kids. I was probably 13.
Yeah.
We're walking out of my mom's house. Brah! And he gets hit. Yeah. That was how I was living, So back then, so going to a podcast, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to a podcast. Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna say shit. Like, not like that,
Yeah.
There was one that I went to where I didn't know the dude too well, and it was, a lot of people, not a lot, but a lot of people, homies have been reaching out to, hey, you want to do, and like I said, I didn't want to do podcasts for a minute. I was like, I feel like I've said too much, and I want to kind of like just, go to a place where be a little bit more mysterious or whatever. But I think I already, Pandora's box is open. I don't think there's any more mystery to me, Right. So I was just going to chill back anyways. And a homie hit me up and he said, hey, you want to do this one podcast? But it's kind of a hood podcast.
Right.
It's like for hood fools, And I was like, yeah, I'll go. I wasn't tripping on the dude, but I was like, oh, I'm going to definitely bring my homies for this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know, But you gave me the address. I'm like, oh, I used to live over there. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these were sending me an address. God knows, I don't know the area. I don't know many of the areas, but it was like a hood.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm pulling up. And I called some of my homies from Sherman.
Yeah.
They drove all the way. Shout out to my homies, because if I need them, they pull up,
That's
and my homies pull up. Some of my big homies and some of the younger homies and some of my peers, they pulled up and we mobbed to this podcast. And they just hung out in the waiting room, and I did the podcast, and it was chill. So now I have a relationship with that guy. Now I feel like, hey, I can do your podcast, And I went, and it was cool. But I didn't know. I didn't think it was gonna be a setup. But you never know. Some people might wanna test the waters, you know?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
I mean, you get to a
Either way, if I had my home base or not, I'm still going to have to like, how can I say it? Okay, for like example. And I hate it because I'm not a tough guy at all, but I'm not a punk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't look for shit. But like, for example, like if I was put in a situation where someone was going to try to punk me or disrespect me in a podcast, I'd have to handle mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. Regardless of how many of them, or if it's just me or my homies are there or not, I'd have to.
But that's not the energy. Like you listen, that's not the energy you have.
No,
I wouldn't. As long as I've known you, you've been the coolest dude ever.
Always, bro.
And I wouldn't invite you to my house if I didn't think you were cool, and I know you're cool. So it's like, you know.
No, yeah. No, I just brought Michael because every Tuesday we hang out.
Yeah. What's the rest of your day gonna look like?
So on Tuesdays, Michael and I, we look for restaurants to eat at.
Oh shit,
that's what we do.
Have you been to El Russo down on the one over here on Sunset? El Russo down the street. I'll give you the address. It's fire.
Oh well, you know I'm vegan though.
Oh, you're vegan?
Yeah, I'm vegan.
There's a vegan
bro.
Thai place called Green Leaves. Yeah. Right here. It's pretty good. It's okay.
Yeah.
Got some interesting shit. Anyways, that's not what this podcast is about.
Nah. That's why I brought my boy Michael.
Are you vegan too?
That's my dog.
Nah.
I was not going to cancel my boy Mike. I was like, yo, Michael, let's go to this podcast on Tuesday.
Pull up.
Switch up our routine. You know, we have a routine that we do. And that's good for me too, you know, just to get out of the house. Cause like, I don't really, my what is it? Like I grew up in San Diego. So most of my friends are out there. So right now in LA, I have my boy Michael, my wife, my son. My circle is very small down here, you know?
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to backtrack. So I met you. I remember you dropped your first project. I don't know if it was like your first album, right?
I think so. Yeah, the SD Kill Wave.
Yeah, and I remember like it's so interesting because I remember that time Sponto and I would drive around and like play it, and we'd be like, "Fucking, this fool's crazy! Listen to this shit!" And like, just be like, because we never heard anything. It's like, I know this is not a reference, but I remember like Sublime came out.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember
it's kind of a good reference.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how you feel about Sublime, but
no, I love Sublime.
Sublime is some people are like, but. When I first heard Sublime, like I'm not an active Sublime listener, but when I first heard it, this girl played it for me in her Bronco. She had it on tape, and I heard it. I was like, I've never heard anything like this before. This fool's talking about my Heine, my Ruka, but he's like playing like guitar and shit.
Yeah,
It hadn't crossed over yet, and and the same thing that you did, I never thought about that before.
No, I think Sublime is a great what is it? Comparison.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's organic because Long Beach is one of those places that's like a hood by the beach. So you get everything mixing in.
Yeah.
Like all these coastal neighborhoods. Yeah. You get surfers,
that's the best,
it's all
right?
It's a mix. Yeah. Skaters, it's all, and they all have like a similar mentality. Like surfers are out there beating people up, and it's just this whole fucking thing. But
territory.
Yeah. It's all very territorial. It was. Now I don't know what's going on, but like it used to be that way. Yeah. But like you said. It's funny that thing you bring up about because people used to go viral by like doing things so people around you knew what you were about.
Yeah,
like, or like doing when I did graffiti. That's how like, oh, you're up and this. I saw you get up over there, and they're like, oh hell yeah, they knew I was out last night. But now that's not how it works. It's like it's all in the phone.
It's all on the phone,
and it's all manufactured.
Yeah,
and it's a trip because it's part of getting older. You know?
So, I mean, I feel like we're living in two realities, right?
100%.
There's this one,
100%.
and this reality is real. I can touch you, or we're talking, and then this one's real too. This one affects your feelings, your mood. It can make you happy. You can pick up chicks on it, or start beef, or have a bunch of friends there. You know what I mean? That are real. The friendships in there are real. Like there's people in there that I've never met in my life.
Yeah.
But what up? Like their shit, and they support me, and I fuck with them, and we still haven't met in real life, but it feels like it's a friendship. It's a relationship. So it's like two different realities
100%.
That we're living simultaneously. There are, I think at one point they might like merge. I wonder if they'll merge like
100%.
A crazy way. You know what I mean? On some sci-fi shit, merge like.
No, I think people.
That shit's gonna happen, huh? You think that's gonna happen, Doc?
It's gonna happen. He knows it's gonna. Don't talk to him about science fiction. Look at him.
Yeah, he's got the faces of that guy. You know what I'm saying though? Yeah. Because right now it's happening, but it's still separate. You know what I mean? It's still I'm me. Here's the phone. But I wonder when me and the phone become one. You know what I'm saying?
We will see people tapped in with a headset. we'll see a headset and a fucking IV, and you'll see people in there with a fucking shit bag or something. They'll just be in there for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
They'll just because they talk about this whole idea of like a singularity or VR and all this shit.
Yeah.
And they talk about like one day. I'm like, one day there's another world in here right now. Like all I gotta do is open Instagram. I'll lose my shit in like I'll lose an hour in there.
Check this out. One of the homies, shout out the homie Chase from fucking from Hive. The Hive, you know Chase from the Hive? He does like Fools Gone Wild. He does a lot of merch. He's like Little Peep. Oh, no. It's a collective. They do like music. They also do like merch, management. They're from LA. The homie Chase, he's cool. I used to be with them back in the days, but then I went solo cholo because I just like to be DIY. You know what I mean? And it's just more. I get more money that way if I'm doing my own shit. But what was I say? So homeboy was like, he's like, yo, let me buy all your content. Like garbage content, don't matter content. And I was like, well, nah, what do you want my content for?
Right.
He's like, I'll pay you for da-da-da-da. And fast forward, I'm not going to get into other people's business. That's not who I am. But it intrigued me. And I was like, why do you want content so bad? Like, or not bad, but why do you want content, you know? And he broke it down to me about the kind of like the value of content. And then he took it a step further. And basically, soon, he believes, they're buying airspace, right? So right now, you can buy a house, you can buy rent a billboard, right? But the airspace is kind of free. Mm-hmm. So certain companies are buying up airspace. And what happens in the future, I get my phone, I open the camera setting, and I scan it, right? I scan the room. And if I scan the room right now, I see your paintings, I see you, right? But in the future when I'm driving, because everything's so congested when it comes to advertisement, you can only get so many billboards, you can only get so many bus benches, you can only get so many like buses, you know, that you put your advertisement on. In the future, you can just be driving down the freeway or going down, you open up your phone, or you might have some sunglasses with a special technology, and you can see billboards and advertisement. So you look at your phone, and when you look at the sky on your phone, there'll be advertisements on that airspace.
AR.
You know, and it can advertise whatever it wants.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's where he's on. So he's gathering
he's just collecting
all this shit.
Oh, shit.
You know, paying big bucks for it.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like so intrigued by it. And I'm like, fuck.
Check it out. This is no lie, right? So I'm at home and I just decided to shave my balls, right?
Yeah.
So I went to court not knowing I was going to get arrested, and I got arrested. I was the only man in men's central jail with his balls shaved. Like the women guards stopped me like, what happened to your hair? And I was like, I didn't know I was coming to jail. Like,
oh my God.
I literally shaved my balls not knowing I was going to jail. So like for 5 days I was walking around hairless balls in jail, and I was like, "Oh, fuck!"
You thought your balls were gonna end up somewhere nice that night, but they didn't.
But the women guards were the one that stopped me. They were like, "Hey, let me see. What the fuck? Like, what do you want to see? It's shaved. You know what I mean?" Like, I felt so embarrassed. That's the only time I've been embarrassed about shaving my balls. But that's a true story. I swear. I went to jail, and the guards were like, "Hey, let me see that. Wait.
We got some people that like to keep their balls shaved.
Wait, you used the Mach 3 on your balls?
Damn. So y'all just like on a daily basis walking around just super hairless balls. Just
hairless balls, baby.
Just shaved peaches.
Yeah, bro. Just because I'm married, I'm not going to... Come on, man. Shit. If I used to keep my shit real clean when I wasn't married, now that I'm married, I got to keep it extra
You got to keep
clean.
up appearances.
Yeah.
Why don't you just...
I'm not going to let my guard down. You know what I mean? You know how people let their guard down? They get married and they start... Not me, bro.
That's smart. You're a smart man.
I'm the opposite.
You gotta keep the romance alive.
Yeah, bro.
Can't be farting in front of your girlfriend.
Nah, dude. I want my wife to always be like,
yeah, that fool's fucking fine, huh?
Yeah.
You want her to keep
the some hairless balls.
Keep that with some hairless balls.
Balls are hairless.
Just looking like
my
one of those
balls
cats.
are hairless.
All right, well,
but I heard certain people like don't grow hair though.
With alopecia?
Yeah.
Certain people?
In their balls.
Really?
True.
I've never heard this. Just no pubic hair?
I research all kinds of random stuff when I'm bored.
He heard somewhere.
I heard it through the
I heard about it.
I heard.
I heard something.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know shit. Don't believe anything I said in this interview, by the way.
I believe it all, man. That's in the
I'm
balls
kidding.
part.
Believe it, except the balls part. My balls are hairy.
This important PSA is brought to you by Manscape.com. This is your pubic service announcement and the news we've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the USA and Canada. This new trimmer was released only moments ago. We're the first to get our hands on it and share the news. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free shipping with the code PTA2021 at manscaped.com. I'm going to tell you something. Not going to lie. I have the old version of this thing.
Yeah.
The one before, this one is hella ergonomic and sleek. It looks like a fucking stealth fighter plane. I have the old version, and this fucking razor is so good. I threw it.
Doesn't nick?
Nah, I'm not even lying. Like I'm not even bullshitting. I use it for my fucking mustache. I use it to trim my face. I take it when I travel. I don't even fucking.
Yeah, let me have this shit.
This shit is hard. I'm
dog.
keeping this one. Shit.
What? Damn,
My old lady's taking the other one. Look at that. See, it's got this little.
Gifts for the guest.
It's got this little ceramic thing that keeps you from cutting your balls.
You might have to get me one. You bragging about this? Oh, it's even got a little light.
Yeah, it's got a light. It's got a light.
Oh, I see how they do it. Oh, I get it now. The top blade is plastic.
Yep. It protects you. So you can shave anything without getting cut.
That makes sense.
I'm going to tell you, if it's anything like, if this is the new version, the old version is in my toiletry kit. I was just out on vacation. I'm shaving with it all the time. It's the best. I'm not even using it on my fucking balls. I use it on my face. It's a perfect razor. Their advanced ceramic blade and skin safe technology is so good that it represents what experts would perhaps call the absolute pinnacle of grooming engineering. Looks wise, it's sleek. It's got two-tone matte and gloss finish. Even features a hot foil stamped back chrome Manscaped logo. Look at that shit. This shit's beautiful. I'm just gonna start carrying this thing around the world. Just walk around. I'll just shave at the supermarket. I'm just gonna have it as an accessory. It's just that cool looking. I believe in this product so much. I gotta tell you, the optimized lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof. Groom in the shower. I did not know it's waterproof. Did you guys? I did not know that I could be using this shit in the shower. This thing's amazing. What if they've reinvented the fucking mousetrap?
Obviously made by men who shave their balls.
Men who shave their balls. The Lawnmower 4.0's new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer, which is true because I've charged this thing a couple times in the past 6 months. I swear to fucking God, the battery on this, I mean, they've really built a better mousetrap. They shouldn't even be marketing this shit to balls. They should take over all shaving. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code PTA2021 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code PTA2021 at manscaped.com. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth, and your balls will thank you. Get 20% off free shipping with the code PTA2021 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code PTA2021. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. No, we're running headlong into fucking Blade Runner territory.
Yeah. That's it. That shit intrigues me, you know, because I feel like we're making leaps. You know, remember, like, we went from pagers to like the leaps are just huge. They're not like small. You know, we went from nothing. Like I remember, I'm 46 now. You know, shit, I remember black and white TVs. You know, and I think they probably already had color TVs, but we were too poor. And then like Walkmans and you know what I mean? The cassette decks, Discman. Yeah. And now it's just like, this is all you need, you know?
Well, the funny thing was that when we were kids, right? They're like, one day they're going to have a phone with a camera. Like one day there's going to be a video phone. And the way they show it in the movie is like a screen with a big ass computer. Yeah. And this shit sneaks up on you because you have a phone and then one day they're like, oh, we're going to add video. You're like, okay. And you turn around one day and we're past the future. We're past the mark where we thought we'd be. Yeah. And it's growing exponentially. So it just keeps getting crazier. And like, I personally am like, I wish they could just stop for a minute because it's like, it's going so fast. Like the way kids make money now, like I look at the way kids, like I make money in a very traditional way. I make a product, I sell it. Yeah. I film something. I saw that they pay me to film it. Like, whatever, right?
Same, yeah.
But But now the way kids make money is like some kid has a fucking noodle bowl haircut, bites his lip, and he's making $15 million a year on TikTok. Like it's mind boggling.
Bro.
Right? Like it's a crazy way to make money.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Yeah,
it trips me out. It's very interesting to me. Like I'm intrigued by it all. I think I wasn't like as much until like I had all this downtime with because of the COVID thing. Yeah. Once like COVID hit, like I just went into all these rabbit holes. You know what I mean? Just one after another. I had to like log off. I was like, okay, I need to fucking experience this reality. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I don't know. It's a trip, dude. That's a trip.
So you had. I remember you had the album, and then I didn't like see you around for a while. We both got busy, and then I was like, oh, this fool hooked up with Kat Von D, and like I remember seeing her at way back in the day at True Tattoo.
Yeah,
I was going to get.
That's when I met her.
That's when you met her?
Yeah, at True Tattoo.
I remember going there to get like I was going to talk to Chris Garver. I want to get a tattoo from that guy, and I was just like checking, and I see this girl in there, and I'm like, and this is at a time when it was like kind of a rarity for women to tattoo. You didn't see a lot of female tattooers.
She's a pioneer, bro.
She's a pioneer, and I was like, damn, she's in a shop that's like a real shop.
Yeah,
and she's getting. I was looking at her. I'm like looking at her shit. I'm like, holy shit, she's really. And like, I know that sounds sexist, but like. That's what I was a tattooer for a minute. Like I was in that world.
No, I get it.
And I was like tripping on her. I was like, and I remembered her. I was like, damn, I remember that girl.
Yeah.
And then later on, I started seeing her. She started doing like reality TV. I was like, oh, I remember her. She was like True Tattoo, all that shit. And then I see you hooked up with her. And I was like, of course. What I talk about a match made somewhere.
Yeah.
But you two, I was like, oh, this is like.
Yeah, that's my girl, bro.
Right. Yeah,
she's been my girl from the beginning, though. That's what's crazy.
Right.
She's always been like she's gonna be my wife one day, type of thing.
You had that in your head.
Oh yeah, for a long time. When I first met her, yeah.
So you met her way back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I met her on MySpace.
No fucking way. You did.
I threw some game at her on MySpace.
Nice. Top 10.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I went up to LA to meet her in person, and we hung out a couple times.
Yeah.
And then her life took off with the show.
Yeah.
And I was young too. But I had a restaurant that I still own in San Diego.
Okay.
I had a vegan restaurant down there called Pokey's. So I was doing that. And right around the time, because I think I was 24. And right when I turned 24, the restaurant just fucking blew up, and I started doing really well. So I got extremely busy too. And then she started doing Miami Ink, and then she started doing LA Ink. And I was at the first LA Ink. She called me and was like, hey, I'm doing a grand opening for my shop. You should roll through. And I went to the grand opening. If you watch the first episode, I'm in there. I'm in the crowd walking around. Doing my thing.
The background?
Yeah. And
Easter
then we
egg?
reconnected, I don't know, man. What is it, 4 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was on.
Yeah. I wasn't on right away, but, like I knew it was going to be on. At some point.
You're a romantic dude, I can tell. I see how you move.
Yeah.
He's very into romance.
You can see it in the way I talk.
Yeah.
In the way I dress.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Black roses everywhere, velvet gloves.
Yeah, I am, bro. I'm a romantic. You know what
That's
I mean?
good.
Yeah.
That's good. There's nothing wrong with romance.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I'm romantic too.
Do you have a lucky lady?
Yeah, I got a girlfriend.
Okay.
It's good, man.
How long have you guys been together?
Coming up on 2 years.
I love
a few
that.
months.
How'd you guys meet?
I met her playing poker.
No, really?
Yeah.
You a poker player?
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing poker for a few years.
That's cool. I know nothing about any gambling, poker, nothing.
It's one of the things.
I know checkers. That's about it.
Checkers,
but not chess. You know chess? I heard that's the mastermind's game. If if you're on chess, that means you're some mastermind.
You watch the phone. The mic is like.
Oh, sorry, brother. I get like these weird twitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, checkers is like craps, and then poker is chess. Okay. You know what I mean? I'll tell you something about poker. It is 100%. It's all skill. Like there's luck involved, but it's navigating that luck. Poker, and I look at when I'm getting my ass kicked at poker, I'm like, there's something I'm not getting, and I feel like I need to overcome it to learn a lesson in life, because poker is like you're dealt some cards and you don't know what this person has, and you just have to figure out how to play, Yeah. And there's people that are masters at it, but they're like, and there's also people who are like math fucking geniuses.
Right, they're counting cards or something.
Not counting cards, but they're just like, there's a whole fucking bunch of shit. Either way, long story short, I'm on a
break.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you met your lady at a card game?
I met her at a card game. She took me on a hand. I got pissed. I was like, you shouldn't have been in that hand. I said something to her. I was being mean, but in a cute way. And then, and then we ended up, like over the course of whatever, we ended up dating. And it's one of them things where we're both like, well, this is just a thing. Like, we're not gonna.
It's not serious.
Yeah, we're not serious, and then we ended up staying together. So it's cool. You got rich people's problems now. You got a swimming pool.
I do got rich people's problems.
You're swimming so much, your ears fucked up.
Yeah, but you know what though? I mean, I think no matter how you cut it, it affects you. What am I trying to say? It's not really. I think. I don't know. I think I'm still the same, dude. Money hasn't really changed me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I take care of more people now. But I've always been, I opened up a restaurant at 17, and when I turned 24, that restaurant was doing really well. I bought my mom a house with that restaurant. So I bought myself an apartment complex when I was 30 or 27. I think I bought myself a house at 27 and an apartment complex at 30. So I was already like making money, before prayers or any of that. But it wasn't like music money. But I was investing in real estate, and I got a couple. The one thing about the restaurant business that's really cool is that you meet a lot of different people. Yeah. I've met, you name it, from lawyers to like, hustlers to you name it, skaters, artists. I met a lot of people, and through that, through the restaurant, like I learned a lot. I shout out the Howard Greenberg, who was my landlord when I first opened that little restaurant. He owns a lot of real estate in San Diego. He owns like a big portion of San Diego. He's basically the king of San Diego, and he taught me a lot of stuff. And it was just because I rented this little building from him at 17, and he took a chance on me. And my pops was illiterate. He didn't know how to read or write and stuff. So, and I dropped out at 9 because I was gangbanging. I was getting shot at school. I remember I was coming out. My pregnant girlfriend at the time got shot at, and I was like, man, I'm not going back to school. I remember I was in my truck, and this car pulled up to me right when I was getting out of school. I got shot at. I go home. And the bullet was stuck in the back of my the headrest. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I ain't going back over there. You know what I mean? So, but then I had, I still had a little hustler mentality, So I got this little restaurant, and so I've been familiar with like, kind of the responsibility of money, because there is responsibility that comes with money. It's not like you make it, you spend it. I mean, you can, and I do, but I do more than that. I think I invest and I save more than I spend. My spending compared to my investments and all the other things that I do with my money are very little. You know what I mean?
How did you have the balls to start a restaurant at 17, dropping out of hwhat possible?
I think everything that I've ever done in my life has always been about like revenge. You know what I'm saying?
Very God.
Revenge has helped me in a lot of ways, and that's also got me in trouble. So I had always kind of, I was doing the gangbanging thing, but also my father, we were poor, so we needed a second source of income. That second source of income was me. I was the oldest. So I would, it's crazy because I did run, I used to run errands for the homies and stuff like that, but there was a part of me that I've always, what am I trying to say here? I've always loved my father, right? I always wanted to make him proud. And I know that when I got in gangs and when I was getting stabbed, I mean, my mom used to walk barefoot, because she thought that I was going to get killed. Because, my cousin, Wicked, who's doing life in prison now, he got locked up at 16, He's in Pelican Bay. He's been in there since 16 years old, Not necessarily in Pelican Bay, but he's been locked up since the age of 16. And I'm 46. He might be 1 year younger than me. So things like these were happening around me all the time. I mean, I would walk out of the house and my friend got shot, you know? So my mom, she was a very religious lady, you know, Catholic. And also practiced like a lot, you know, like curandera type of magic, right? So her belief system was, if you want something, you have to offer something up. So my mother wanted to protect me from the life that I was living. And she knew she couldn't do it in like a physical form. So she had to do it in a spiritual way.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that like she offered her humility or to God. And the pact or the promise that she made was like, God, if you protect my son, if you keep him safe, I will go barefoot. And my mom was barefoot for decades. You know,
What?
She wouldn't wear shoes.
Get the fuck
And it
out
used
there.
to embarrass me. And I used to get in fights with my friends over it because they would call her India pata rajada. So, some derogatory thing about being Indian and not wearing shoes, right? Like, tu mamá es una India, you know? And I used to get in fights with my own homies from my neighborhoods over it. And I used to get so upset with my mom, and I used to be like, hey, wear shoes. What? And at this time, I was working for the homies, you know? So I would make money. I was making more money than my dad. I remember one day I came home, I had a fucking bunch of money, and I threw it at my mom, you know? And I was like, oh, it's a horrible kid, bro. I throw the money at my mom, and I'm like, fucking, I had just got in a fight. I had just got in a fist fight with two dudes over it, two brothers. So I hate these motherfuckers. They're from my neighborhood, but to this day, I hate these two motherfuckers. I get down with these fools over this shit. You know what? You know what's crazy about these two dudes? It's that we were really close when we were little kids. When we were little kids, our parents hung out. We grew up, and then when we joined, I don't know what happened between me and them. They started just hating on me hard.
Right.
You know, and you know, I'm not a big dude, but I'm about it. You know, so I would get down with these dudes. You know, and I think I was more mad at them. But then I got home, and then I see my mom without the shoes, and that's kind of what started the fight with these dudes, because they were like, your mom doesn't wear shoes, you know, and got down with these dudes. I go home, and I see my mom, and I just pull out my water money, and I boom, throw it at my mom. And my dad saw me do this, but I was already blinded by anger, so I didn't even see my dad. I was just saw my mom and bare feet. I throw the money, and I'm gonna buy some shoes. God damn it, like, you know. And my dad sees me, and he fucking just beats the shit out of me, right? And my dad was a big dude, you know? And then he pulls me aside after he kicks my ass, and he tells me, hey, you know why your mom's barefoot? And he breaks it down to me. And he tells me, your mom's barefoot because she's afraid that you're going to die in these streets. You're going to end up like Frank in prison. And she made a promise to God that she would go barefoot until you fucking change. And that was the seed, bro, that got me like, oh fuck, you know, like it did something to me that shook me enough to like want to get my shit semi straight. And I started working. I would start going to work with my dad on the weekends at restaurants, and just to give them some type of like comfort, you know, because I was always running the streets. And I was like, okay, I can't stop running the streets, but I got to give my family some type of comfort. You know, I got to give them something to not, because I love my family. I love my father and my mother, you know, rest in peace. I don't have my parents anymore. I lost my mom this year. I lost my father in 2005, but I love them, you know, they were my world. And I really didn't realize how much damage I was doing by living the way I was living. And I see it now, you know, I have a daughter, my beautiful daughter, she's 26. And then I have my little son, Leafar, who's going to be 3. And I worry about them. You know what I mean? I worry about my daughter. I worry about my son. And I get it now. You know, right. I get it. Like, okay, yeah, this is real. You know, you love someone so much, you'll go barefoot. You do whatever you can for them. So it changed me, and I wanted to balance the scales somewhat. So within that balancing of the scales, I started working like a straight, you know, a square. you know? So I would do the street shit and I would work with my dad on the weekends. And I started falling in love with working at the restaurant. I started meeting people, you know. I met this dude who's really young chef. You know, he was like a trailblazer, Alejandro. And he was young and he was like fucking running 5-star restaurants everywhere. And he was opening up in like New York, San Francisco, and he had the top restaurants, you know. And he happened to have one called Ole Madrid at the time, and it was the fucking coolest spot, you know. It was like a 5-star restaurant, Spanish style cuisine, and then at night they would have like bands, like real bands, you know, like the brand back then, like the Brand New Heavies and the Far Side and like shit like that would come and play at this place, you know. So I started like really discovering a culture, like through food. I fell in love with it, and he took me under his wings and he taught me everything he knew. And for a while, I thought that was gonna be my world. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking chef, a famous fucking chef. I know it. And I was coming out already in like magazines because I was, I went from dishwashing to prepping to line cook to being the second in command, you know, and I was doing daily specials and he was running all his other restaurants. He would leave me in charge. And then what happened was he sold it. He sold it to this football player from the Seattle Seahawks. And this dude didn't know shit about restaurants. He told him, leave this kid in charge. This kid knows how to run this fucking kitchen. You're good. Just let him handle everything. They let me handle everything for a little bit. But my age, at the time, I was like fucking 16. Because I opened up my restaurant at 17. And I don't know. He didn't have faith in me, even though I was doing everything by the book, the way Alejandro taught me. And then the dude ended up like hiring some dude from Spain who had gone to some fancy culinary arts school up in Spain, and he was from Spain. Hired this dude straight out of school, but he never had no fucking experience in a real fucking kitchen, right? So this dude, he had all the paperwork was right, but he didn't know how to fucking, you know, turn on the stove. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this dude comes in, and I'm basically still running the show, but this guy's getting a bigger check than me and getting all the praise for everything that I'm doing.
Right.
I felt some type of way about it.
Yeah.
And one day, I went to the owner and I said, "Hey man, I need a fucking raise. Like this dude, he ain't shit. He ain't doing shit. He asks me how the get down is. I'm doing everything. He's getting all the praises, and I'm over here like busting my ass. I'm working fucking 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, you know. And this dude's getting all the credit. Nah, it's not going down like that. The dude fires me.
Oh shit." And then it was like, okay, let's go and make my own
And
spot.
then I opened up my own. So revenge. It was revenge. I opened up my own restaurant.
Right.
So then I opened up my own restaurant at 17 to tell these dudes to fuck you. And then I struggled, bro. I fucking struggled for 6 years with that little restaurant. Yeah. Because I knew how to run a restaurant, but I didn't know the business side of it.
Yeah.
Because that's the different part. You know, no one tells you, oh, wait, it's not just fucking, you know, keeping inventory, keeping the costs down.
And that business is hard
cooking.
too. Restaurant business is
there's
tough.
Other shit to it. There's accounting. There's the fucking payroll. So that became a whole mess. But then after the 6th year, I hung in there for 6 years, busted my ass. When I turned 24, that shit was just fucking lines around the block. Yeah, I remember at one point, when I had my own house, I remember I had a little safe. I had like $100,000 in it, you know? Yeah. I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And it was no drug money. It was no music money. It was just straight the little restaurant that I had.
You hustled it.
Yeah.
See, the thing that when you replay that shit, right? Yeah. And you're saying is 6 years was really hard, and you know, having been, you know, I've been in businesses before and been through the hard times. Yeah, man. But what we don't tell you when we say that is that if, from my experience, A, those 6 years go very fast. Yeah, they do actually. Yeah. B, when you say it's hard, yes, it's hard, but it doesn't mean it's not fun. Yeah. Right? Like it's hard, but you just get by. And when shit's hard and you're trying to figure out how do I make this happen, it's like there's something exciting about making shit happen when there's nothing there. making something out of nothing. That's exciting. Like giving birth to something, and then once you get going, it becomes kind of like, well, now you have a machine built and you got to fucking adjust the cogs. Yeah. And you got to make sure this goes in. And it becomes very like there's a formula once you figure it out, and the excitement, it's not as exciting. I like the beginning of things.
Yeah, I think I do too. Like I remember when I first started doing Prayers, the band, so much fun. I had money, but I was funding it like everything, like the records, the merch. But I also wasn't going to be like, I'm going to fucking be getting us fucking 5-star hotels. Yeah. So I wanted the full experience. Right. So we would go play shows for $50 and we'd be like, fuck it, we're sleeping in the van today. Yeah. Like, yeah, we're sleeping, because a lot of it was me. And I was like, okay, I am going to allow the restaurant to fund some of it. Yeah. But this has to fund itself. Yes. And if I have to fucking eat top ramen, I'm going to do it, even though I know I could go get some whatever, But I don't know. I did it, and Prayers, took off, and then it started doing the same thing, started making its own money. Right. But at the beginning, I don't know. Prayers was really fun. The restaurant was not fun. That was really hard for me. Yeah. It was really difficult because a lot of times it was just me by myself when I first started it, because I couldn't afford employees.
And you were cooking too?
I was doing it all, and then my dad would help me with the restaurant, but my dad was extremely sick and he would get seizures. Oh shit! So a lot of times when he would come to help me, he would have a seizure and faint and pass out in the kitchen, and I was always afraid he would hurt himself. Like have something hot would fall on him, or a knife. He would fall with a knife. So I said, "Hey, Dad, just stop coming," because he would fall on the ground. Foam would start coming out his mouth. I'd have to open up an onion, almost like those little, what are they called? Those
smelling salts.
Smelling salts, but I didn't have smelling salts, so I would cut an onion, put it on his nose. He would wake up. I would say, "Hey, Dad, chill for a little bit, rest." And I was like, "Hey, Dad, stop coming. Just don't come no more." Right. So I would just run the restaurant by myself. And when I first started, all my money went into opening up this restaurant. Yeah. And I was no longer working, and I was no longer hustling, and this restaurant consumed me. It took everything from me. My entire life, my entire savings. Yeah. And I couldn't, when I opened up my restaurant, I had to take a loan from my homeboys from my neighborhood. Yeah. I had from the homies that were slanging, I took a loan, and I told them, "Hey man," because they were like, "Hey, no, you can keep it, but let us do this out of it." I said, No, I want to do this the right way. Yeah. Lend me the money and I'll pay you back, but there's no this or don't give me the money. So I got the money and I paid it back, and there was no funny business, right? But I needed money to buy food. Yeah. To open up the restaurant. I didn't even have money to buy food. Wow. But because I spent it all on the electrical, the plumbing, the permits, the this, the that, all these things I had no idea.
All by yourself, pretty much.
All by myself. The equipment. I had back then it was a lot. Now it's a lot. I don't know. But I opened up this restaurant in 92. I opened it up with 30 grand.
That's crazy.
So, I had 30 grand back in the 90s.
But how did you...
Straight money from straight working. I had 30K.
That's a lot of money back
in the 90s. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a lot now, but that was in the 90s. So I did my little thing working, man. I mean, I was fucking also working 12-hour shifts. Right. Yeah. So I wasn't spending nothing. When you work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week, the money just piles up. Well, you don't have time to go spend it on nothing, Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I sold my car dude, I used to do the produce run in the morning. I would wake up at 5 a.m, skateboard down to Smart and Final, wait for it to open. I would get all my soft drinks, all my to-go containers, my plastic ware, everything. I would pile it up on my skateboard, walk it to the restaurant because I didn't have a vehicle, and unload it. And then I would skateboard down to the produce district, get my tomatoes, get my onions, get my cabbage, get all my vegetables, and then I would walk it, piled up on a skateboard, walk all the produce to the restaurant, unload it, and then I would skateboard down to the meat district, get all my meats, because I had some meats, you know what I mean? And then I would skateboard it down to the restaurant, unload it, I would prep everything, and then I would go flip the sign for open, and then people would walk in and want to say, "Hey, listen," I still remember my little lines that I used to say. I would say, "Hey, listen, I'm here by myself. If you're in a hurry, it's going to be a minute because it's just me. But if you have the time to dine with us, have a seat and I'll take your order.
It was literally just you in the place. Nobody else.
For years, bro.
You're the waiter, the cook,
I was everything.
The maitre d', the whole fucking thing.
And I used to cry, bro. I had no life. I went from balling. I went from I grew up poor, but then I was. You know what? I've been blessed, bro. I've been blessed in the sense that money has always gravitated towards me in one way or another. Like when I was really young and I wanted something, I remember on the weekends, bro, I would go to the soccer field on Saturday and Sunday and I would get all the cans, right? And then I would go recycle them. And it got to the point where all the people would know me. Here comes the little kid. And they would already have bags of their cans from drinking ready for me. Right. And I would just come and pick them up. And I would make my little money, That's just natural hustle, though, right? Like that. Like if you think about it, you dropped out of school, right? Yeah. You were in a gang situation. Yeah. And I was making money when I was in a gang. I was an errand boy. Right. I never had to do or get dirty or do nothing. I would just take this to there and drop it off, and I didn't bother nothing. I was just like, okay. I was young. I didn't, and it was funny because when I first got in gangs, they liked my appearance, because I looked like a good boy, you know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't like all fucking thugged out, right. You know? I mean, what do you think? Because I think it's I was a good boy, You were a good boy. I still am, yeah. You're still a good boy. You're a very good boy. I just got some, like all of us. I think we live multiple realities simultaneously. I think we all have everything in us, right? Like we have jealousy, we have anger, we have love, we have hatred. Yes. It's all part of the human being, right? We all have these emotions, these feelings. Some of us have more of another. Some of us maybe tend to be more jealous and more insecure. Some of us tend to be more confident and more whatever outgoing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I have it all. You know what I mean? I have my faults, but I also. I'm good too. I'm kind. I'm generous. You know what I mean? I treat people the way I want to be treated. Yeah. But I'll push back too. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you're a good boy. Yeah. I like to identify with that. Yeah, I'm a good boy. Like if you actually know me, I'm a good dude. Yeah. If you know me, you know I'm a good boy. Yeah. So, I mean, do you think about? Because I look at that what you did, and I think that the odds are that it would never work. Right? Oh, yeah. The odds are that at 17, you wouldn't even try. I didn't try shit like that at 17. I still had my head up my ass, right? Yeah. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I would never have tried to open a restaurant at 17, right? I did stuff later, but I spent a lot of time fucking around. I trip out because I saw, I don't know, sometimes I run into young people, I have nephews and nieces that are that age, you know? And then I do trip out. I was like, oh shit. I don't know. My mentality was different. But also I grew up around gangbanging and hustling. You know what I mean? I grew up around that. And also I was also like the guy that took me under his wing, he also empowered me with his wisdom. And his mentor. I had a mentor. Yeah, he gave me the confidence that's huge. You're running this fucking 5-star restaurant, bro. So I was like, I can open up my own. I'm running this motherfucker, That's true. So you came across, you got a mentor. That's a big leap right there. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, it's a minor miracle that anything. I think about Born and Raised, right? Yeah. Think about starting a business. We had a third partner. We had a shoebox full of cash, and we just started going, just fucking going, boom, boom. No fucking plan, no business strategy. I know how to do this. You know how to do that. Boom, boom, boom. And then here we are. Now it's a real thing, right? Yeah, it's a real thing. But for every And so much success you guys have had. I was telling Michael, I was like, dude, they do the coolest fucking collabs, man. You guys have done it all. Thank you. Yeah, we're grinding, man. With other brands, with established brands that have been, American name brands. Yeah. I don't even know how you guys do that. That's so dope. It's just at this point, it's just like a fucking blur. It just keeps going. Yeah. But you got to think we made it happen, but there's got to be, it's probably 1 out of 100,000 companies work. I don't know what the actual stats are, but it doesn't work. For you to make a restaurant, the restaurant business is even harder. It's so hard to make a restaurant work, right? It is. Is it still there? Open? Still there. Still going. Yeah. When I started when the music started doing well. Yeah. I gave it to my 3 brothers. I have 3 younger brothers. Okay. And I passed the torch to them. And I said, hey, man, you guys make a living off of this. How they doing? It's doing okay. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, COVID and all that. They've had some rough patches, but they're there. And, they shoot me cash still because, I created the shit. You know what I mean? So they gotta shoot me my monthly check.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You still get chipped off?
I still get chipped off.
Okay.
But I said, hey, keep this shit and make a living for yourselves. And this restaurant bought me 2 houses, an apartment complex. It'll do the same for you.
Right.
If you treat it well and you run it right, it's gonna do the same thing for you.
That's
know?
amazing.
Yeah.
I think too, once you build a company, I don't care what it is. Like, let's say you build whatever the fuck it is. You build a company and you see it from its start to its finish or whatever, or even just build it and you launch it, it's in the world. Once you have that experience, I feel like you can almost do anything. Because once you know that, like, because we all live in we live in a world where we think we have to follow these parameters, but like you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can start a
There's
cult
so many
tomorrow.
examples, right? There's so many examples too of people succeeding.
Right.
And
by going against the grain, doing something that's like outside the realm. Like I start companies because I don't want to fill out a resume. I don't want to work for anybody.
Yeah.
I'd rather suffer as a business person than work for someone else,
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I've never filled out a resume.
Yeah. It's torture. I won't do it.
Yeah. I've only just...
I won't do it. I was going to tell you too, you're talking about the house, right? You said the house you live in now.
Oh, the house we live in. My wife bought this beautiful house in Hancock Park before we got together.
Yeah.
And she had been renovating it for a little bit, maybe over 6 years. We live in it now. But it's a beautiful home in Hancock Park. It's a historic part of Los Angeles. And the house was built in 1890. And it was actually built in downtown Los Angeles. And in 1915, the owner cut it in half. And this is a fucking 3-story, 12-bedroom mansion. It's massive. I don't know the square footage, but it's fucking... It has
12 bedrooms?
It has a ballroom, bro.
What the fuck?
Like a ballroom. Our house has a ballroom, has a fucking theater room.
What?
It's massive. It's
Shit.
huge. So check this out. They cut this house in half and brought it by mule to where it is now.
By mule.
By mule. They cut this fucking monster of a house, and I don't know how the fuck they did it, put it on mules, and brought it to the location where it is now. Back in 1915. It was built in 1890. In 1915, Isaac Newton Van Nuys, who the city of Van Nuys is named after. He was a farmer, a founding father of California. He brought water to California, and this was his house. He built this house. He loved it so much. When Hancock Park became like the Beverly Hills of Los Angeles, he was like, oh, I want to live over there, but I'm going to take my house.
Wait, have you seen Chinatown?
What do you mean?
Chinatown, that movie Chinatown with Jack Nicholson?
No, I haven't.
It sounds like the plot of Chinatown about them bringing, or whatever.
Well, check this out. The house is now and where it is. And it's a beautiful home. But
amazing.
Yeah. And then my wife, she brought it back to its glory because it's over 100 years old.
She restored it.
And it's been through some cool people. God, what's the name of the guy that owned it before my wife? He's an author. I think he did Willy Wonka. Roald Dahl. He lived there.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Roald Dahl lived there?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So it's a pretty epic house. It's a historic house.
What the fuck's in all the? What's in each? You know what is in every room? There's got to be a room. I know there's a room.
Every room is different because my wife is just like.
One room just has a Nordic track in it. It just sits there, right? There's a treadmill that no one uses.
Yeah.
There's one room that's just like shoes.
One room is shoes. One room is just a huge closet for her.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
12 rooms.
Yeah, but we don't actually, to be honest, we need more. It's not enough.
You need more rooms.
Yeah, we need more rooms.
Yeah.
This house is actually
You gotta have one room just for granola bars.
Just for my fucking boots, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just for your boots.
My cowboy boots alone, bro.
Yeah.
I need a room.
You need a room just to go in and reflect.
I
just
do.
room to meditate in.
Well, now with my son, bro,
right.
I need my own house to
crazy.
Hide for a little bit.
Fuck. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. But that's my wife's stuff. That's her home. I mean, we're married, so it's our home. But that's my wife's stuff. That's her success. That's her brilliance. That's her greatness. That's all her. You know what I mean? I can't take credit for all of any of that. I'm just lucky to be there.
What a wild ride for just a young boy from Sherman.
Oh my God, you know my homies are so fucking. I mean, some of them are haters. You know what I mean? Some of them are jealous. I guess I would be too. You know what I mean? But a lot of them fucking are so fucking proud and happy. Shout out my boy Smurf. You know, my boy Smurf is doing life in prison. You know, he's my childhood homeboy. When I got together with Kat, you know, my wife's poster. There was posters of my wife everywhere in prison. You know, every prison cell had a poster of my wife.
Oh
you know
my
what
God.
I'm saying? And when I got with my wife, my homeboy Smurf, he's like, he be running shit. He called me and he said that he was going to every room and taking fools' posters down and said, "This is my homeboy's wife. You can't be having this shit. It's disrespectful." I was like cracking up. I was like, "Yo, that's just funny." But
what did she say? She think that was funny?
I told her that story too.
She
was like, "Yeah, that's funny."
Damn.
But yeah, man. I mean, beyond that, I mean, she's just she gets me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She gets me better than anyone else, and I think I've always kind of looked for that. I think we all do, right? We all want to be with someone that understands us, and I get it. I'm kind of eccentric, and you know, so I kind of need someone that's eccentric too. You know what I mean? Understands it. I like to paint my nails and shit like that, and it's you know,
it's a good match.
Yeah,
it's a good match.
I mean,
cool.
But yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up with me, man.
That was a good solid. That was an hour, huh?
Yeah, we blew right through.
Fuck yeah, you fucking ran that shit.
Yeah, baby.
Oof.